Hi, my name is Emma. I'm a research trainee with the ULEAD Collaborative Doctoral Programme in Youth Mental Health Leadership. I'm based at the National University of Ireland, Galway, and I'm supervised by Professor Gary Donoghue, who leads this research programme. This brief presentation today will give you an overview of my research to date in the area of cognitive remediation and social recovery in early psychosis. My background is in occupational therapy, and I've worked as a therapist for the last 11 years or so. I'm really interested in the evidence base for therapy interventions, and I'm particularly interested in researching potential new interventions to support functional recovery in young people. The largest output of my research work to date has been the recent publication of our systematic review and meta-analysis. This was published in the Journal of Psychological Medicine. There's a QR code on the left-hand side of the screen. If you open the camera on your phone, it will link you directly to the article, which has a lot more detail. In summary, this paper looked at researching 5 different areas of psychosocial intervention or therapy in the area of early psychosis. In early psychosis, we mean within the first 5 years of that individual's experience of psychosis. Previously, research studies have focused on symptoms, so positive symptoms, hallucinations and delusions, for example, as a primary outcome measure in research studies. We were particularly interested in looking at functional recovery, so the ability of that individual to participate in work, school and interact socially with their family and peers. And what we found was across interventions, improved function was observed from our study. A couple of standouts are that cognitive remediation training demonstrated significant gains similar to what you might see in a more chronic presentation of psychosis. Multi-component therapies, so those therapies that provided 2 or more therapies in one, demonstrated the most significant gains within the study. And also noting that cognitive behavioural therapy in the traditional sense, focusing on symptoms in psychosis, was not as effective as new forms of CBT, which focus on social recovery. Our preliminary research led us to develop the CRESTOR study. This is a randomised pilot study which is actively recruiting young people aged 16 to 35 from the adult and children and adolescent mental health services in Galway. Again, there's a QR code on screen for you to scan, which will link you directly to the trial registration, which has a lot more detail on the study design itself. In summary, this study provides 10 weeks of a therapy intervention. The therapy provided is a multi-component intervention. It combines a cognitive remediation program called Circuits with another type of therapy called social recovery therapy. And we are interested in exploring the effectiveness of this intervention, so the impact on young people's social and occupational functioning and social cognition. We're also interested in the acceptability of the intervention, so how the young people find taking part in the therapy, anything that they would change about it. And this will be done through a qualitative study which is currently ongoing. We are also interested in the feasibility aspect of the intervention, so how feasible or realistic it is that this type of intervention could be integrated into current clinical services in Ireland. I'd like to take a moment to just say thank you to everyone who's worked with me on the ULEAD research project to date, and I look forward to talking about this research and answering any questions anyone may have on the day of the executive board meeting. Thank you very much.